So I feel like we all have this one wall in our home that's a little bit boring. It just needs a little bit of spicing up. For me, it's totally a wall in my kitchen. I want to make it more bold, a little bit of a statement, and I've been seeing on Instagram these arch color block walls that look so nice. They're totally my style. But I'm here sitting wondering, is it possible to do this in a renter-friendly way? And I don't know, never been done. I've never seen a single tutorial for it, no video, nada. And I thought it'd be really fun to try together to figure out whether we can do this in a renter-friendly way. This project was inspired by the Bear Color Trends 2021 palette because all of the colors are so stunning and cozy and they'd all fit in perfectly in my space. And that's why I'm so excited that Bear is actually sponsoring this video to provide me with the perfect mood color setting paint. Their colors are stunning, their quality is top-notch, it's super accessible to buy, and it's the perfect brand of paint for any DIYer like myself and probably like you too. So without further ado, let's get into it. And the first thing I'm gonna do is show you around the starting point for this wall. So I'm currently standing in my kitchen slash dining room area. This one wall in this area is completely blank, and it is this wall right here behind me. I really want to brighten it up, but I also want to turn it into an accent wall. I am going to first paint this wall a bright white color. I think that it would brighten up the space a lot, and because my landlord said that I could. So let's go ahead and get started with adding some bright white paint to this wall. Oh, and by the way, I do have several other DIYs planned within this video to decorate the full accent wall space. So yeah, I'm super excited for those too. So here is the before of the wall. It's light gray and super bare, and it does not look very good. So to start things off, I'm just unscrewing some of the screws that are in the wall and using some spackling to fill in those holes. And then I'm going ahead and removing the outlets and also adding some painter's tape along the ceiling and the baseboard. And now's the fun part. I've got my Bear Night Blooming Jasmine YLW10 here, and this is a bright white paint. This is the Super Fresco wallpaper from Home Depot, and yes, I can use this wallpaper even as a renter. It's not removable wallpaper, but since I don't want to lose my deposit or my landlord's friendship, we're going to attach it in a way that makes it removable. But regardless of what wallpaper you pick, just make sure that it's a non-pre-pasted wallpaper. Hey, so what if I told you that some people already knew that I was working on this project in advance, and those are my friends over on Instagram. I'm at DIY Dalia with an underscore at the end, and you're gonna wanna check me out because you'll get all sorts of behind the scenes and sneak peeks, and also you'll get some more of my love for supporting me over there too. Thank you so much. Now back to the tutorial. Okay, so we have the wallpaper taped up to the wall. Now to actually draw out the arch shape, I've just attached a string to a pencil, and the string is actually the length of half of the wallpaper. And I'm just going to draw around an arch holding this in the center. I'm testing out the length, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and draw out that rough arch design. Perfect. I've got my arch on there. Hopefully you can see that line drawn all the way across. Carefully cut out that arch shape, following along the line, and then reinforce the arch with painter's tape so that it doesn't totally fall apart and crush your dreams. Okay, so let's get on to making the adhesive. Now, if you live in the US, you can use this product called liquid starch, but I don't have that. So I'm going to make my own liquid starch. I looked up a recipe online. Also, yes, I do recognize this is a very weird angle. I will make it on the stove, and then we'll get to attaching this up. The dangers of standing on a chair. Boil 4 cups of water in a pot, and we're not making macaroni, although that does sound delicious. Take 6 tablespoons of cornstarch and pour enough water in there for the starch to dissolve. And then next you're going to carefully pour that dissolved cornstarch mixture into the pot of boiling water. Stir continuously until your mixture is like a thick gravy. Then you're going to let it cool while continuing to stir. So this is the kind of consistency that we're working with here. I have my little roller here, so I'm just kind of like rolling it around in this goopy liquid. Then we're going to apply this to the wall. Peel down the wallpaper just about to the halfway point and start rolling the starch. That'll secure the paper really nicely over it and again make it removable. Continue adding the starch, unrolling the wallpaper and smoothing it out with your hands, and just take it bit by bit, applying that liquid starch solution quite liberally. Then you're going to go ahead and cut out those outlet sections for a nice tight fit and continue on with securing the wallpaper to the wall. Okay, Okay, so it is the next day and all of this is totally fully dried and it looks like it's stuck on really well. So A+ for that cornstarch, liquid starch method. Now, according to the online whizzes, this doesn't mess up your wall, and any little residue that is there, you can just simply wipe away with some water and boom, it's gone. So we're gonna go ahead and just remove all the little pieces of painter's tape that are stuck all around, and then we can pick out the color of paint for this pretty little accent wall. Once all the tape is off, we can now go ahead and see the possible paint colors using Bear's Paint Your Place visualizer, which is gonna help us pick the right paint color. Okay, so I've just uploaded the photo and I picked a couple colors that are my absolute favorite from the 2021 color palette by Bear. They are Canyon Dusk, Maple Glaze, Seaside Villa, and Jojoba. So I am just gonna use that paint bucket tool to drop the colors onto the arch. Starting out with Canyon Dusk, see how this looks. Ooh, I like that. That's really nice. Ooh, okay, Maple Glaze, let's try that. I love Maple Glaze. Okay, that's like a nice, it's a warmer version, I think, a darker, warmer version of Canyon Dusk. Let's try out Seaside Villa. Okay, I also really like Seaside Villa. I think it might be a little bit too nude, but maybe not. Okay, I really like that one. And Jojoba I'm really excited for too, because I don't have anything that's green. Oh, I love Jojoba. What to do, what to do, what to do. So, I think I'm gonna go with Maple Glaze with color code PPU3-16. Do you think I'm making the right decision? Now, you know I'm indecisive. Would you have decided something else? I wanna know. So many pretty colors to choose from, but I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, so I've got my Bear Ultra Scuff Defense Paint and Primer paint, and I got it in the color Maple Glaze, which looks like it's gonna be so, so nice. Now, I actually got this in a flat finish, and I'm super excited for that because traditionally flat finishes do not hold up very well, but with this paint, it is super, super scuff resistant, which means it's gonna have the durability of a gloss, and that makes me so excited. Now, this is also stain blocking and a paint and primer, meaning that there's no need for an additional primer, which I love because that means that we can skip a little step there. So let's go ahead and get started with turning this arch, which currently looks like a little bit of nothing, into something beautiful. This was heavy to hold the whole time, just so you know. So I'm just grabbing my painter's tape and applying it along the outside edge of the arch. Cut your painter's tape into small little chunks that will go all the way around the top of the arch for a nice tight fit. Apply a light amount of spackle in the middle just to make sure that the paint won't seep through the line where the two pieces of wallpaper meet. And now we get to apply that color. Again, I'm using Maple Glaze PPU3-16. Use a small angle brush and carefully just follow along the edge of the arch, trying your best not to go over the edge and onto the tape. And then once you've done the edge all the way around, you can go ahead and roll the rest of the paint onto the wall. This is the most purely satisfying part. Remove that tape and see how perfect the line work is. Incredible, just so delightful. Now you can go ahead and put your outlet trimmings back on, and perfect. Okay, so let's talk for a second about how this accent wall is looking so far. It looks like it's painted right on the wall, but it's not, because it's renter friendly. And honestly, that is such a win. I am so proud of us for figuring out a way to do this accent wall. The paint color Maple Glaze looks so, so nice. And then the paint itself is such high quality. It was so easy to use. It required 2 coats only, and it had absolutely full coverage. No need for a primer or anything like that. The Bear Ultra Scuff Defense is gonna be super easy to clean and wipe down, and it has the perfect flat finish, but I'm so pleased because it's gonna be super, super durable. And the next thing we're gonna do is actually add some storage. Now, this is also gonna be a nice little DIY upcycle for you. I picked up this basic wooden cabinet, and we are going to upcycle it to be something super unique and align perfectly with our new accent wall. So let's go ahead and get started with the storage cabinet. Okay, so I have these 2 cabinet fronts right here. I haven't attached them onto the full-on cabinet yet, and that's because instead of leaving it this nice raw pine color, I instead wanted to add a little bit more texture onto it, because if you know me, then you know I love texture. Online, I picked up this really cool material. It's this stuff. It's basically this woven raffia fabric, and I haven't seen anyone else use it. This should be fun experimenting with this. A good option if you want to add some texture but want it to be a little bit more affordable than this would be to use a light burlap that's really, really pretty and really textured. I almost ended up using that, to be honest, but I did go with this one instead. So I think both would look really, really good. Now, I just want to highlight quickly that these cabinets have a little lip on them. When I was initially thinking of adding that woven raffia on, I was thinking I would like stick the fabric in here and kind of follow the curve of the initial cabinet. But since then, I'm actually now thinking that I will just wrap it all the way around and create this kind of rounded edge, which would be nice. So let's get on to adding the fabric, and then we'll go ahead and add this puppy on to the overall cabinet. You're gonna need your trusty staple gun, so get that ready. And now you're gonna take your wood pieces and your raffia cloth. Fold the raw cut edges of your raffia cloth over the wood and then under for a cleaner look. You don't need those messy edges messing with the vibe. This will be easier to staple too, which is a huge plus. And it won't come undone. So good news all around. Trim the excess cloth on the corners and fold it over at a diagonal, really nice and clean looking, and then staple it into place. Next, you're going to cut out some small holes where the hinges will pop in, and then screw in those hinges to create functioning cabinet doors. Next, I made my way to my favorite one-stop shop, Home Depot. Now, to make a shelf, I bought some durable, inexpensive pine wood, which is really exciting because it meant that I got to use my brand new miter saw. Beautiful. Yay! So if you've been watching my videos, you know I am super scared of electric tools. You just joined me for my first time ever using a miter saw, and I was so scared. It wasn't actually hard to use at all. Now we can move on to mounting the shelf. I got some simple black shelf brackets, and I'm going to carefully screw them into the pine wood. Now we're gonna mount it onto the wall, just making sure that it's not going on crooked. So I'm just marking out the little spots where the screws will go, and then drilling little holes using my electric drill, and then going ahead and attaching those brackets to the wall. I used some black acrylic paint to conceal the screws, and now we can move on to decorating. And it's time to make this accent wall be Instagram worthy, but also make it really feel like home. I used a beautiful thrifted basket and placed a gorgeous leafy faux vine plant inside of it, and that green really goes nicely against the orange paint. And then here's the vase that I got in my previous thrift flip video, coming in strong with this grass that I actually picked from a field. This little rainbow is gorgeous, and we'll be learning how to make it in an upcoming DIY video, so stay tuned for that. These brass candlesticks give nice level and depth while also keeping the whole thing classy, if you ask me. And then I went ahead and lined these books with linen fabric, and then topped it with a cute little thrifted bowl for a nice pristine look. I love this pretty donut vase, which I actually already had, and I filled it with some dried florals. And then let's just go ahead and put a few more books down and another cute little vase with bunny tails in it, which really brings a soft look to the piece. I'm just popping in a mini succulent because it's pretty and hard to kill. And here's a bowl with wooden tassel garland, which really adds a fun vibe. Finally, a giant vase that I just love, filled with fluffy pampas grass, and now it's time for the before and after, which is my favorite part of these videos, so here we go. I am so shocked at how this turned out, and I want to know from your perspective, 1, do you like how it turned out? And 2, did you believe that it was going to turn out as a renter-friendly DIY accent wall? Because honestly, I love how it turned out so much. Now, obviously I haven't actually removed anything yet, so I can't 100% guarantee anything, but it sure as heck looks like we figured out how to do a super renter-friendly DIY accent wall. But now, if you actually want to see me remove this accent wall, you're gonna have to subscribe, because when I do eventually move out of this apartment, I will be doing a video on undoing all of the rental DIYs all around my apartment. Pulling off this project actually surprised me so much. Painting wasn't hard at all. Also, a big thank you to Behr for sponsoring this video, and to the Behr Ultra Scuff Defense paint for making this project so easy to do. Check out the paint that I used in the Behr Color Trends 2021 palette, which will both be linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and love you forever for subscribing to this channel and liking this video. See you next time. Bye.